Alright, so let's get started on this transom. I am going to take the inner skin off. For a technique for dust, I'm just using my vacuum cleaner and sucking as much of um, the dust that comes off the back of that grinder off. You'll also notice that I'm doing something really stupid, but I've just always done it this way, as far as I'm not using the guard on that grinder. So I'm just holding onto that grinder like really tight, but it's not smart, because if that thing kicks back, it could chop my finger off. But the way I run it is basically, if it were to go in any direction, it would yank forward. But I don't suggest it. I just hate using the guard, because you're constantly having to stop and twist it and move it. I'm sure one day I'll nick myself, and then I'll swear I should have always used it in the first place. Um, all right. So this boat's cap is held down by flathead machine screws and bolts on the other side. So right here, I'm putting a big groove in them, in the head, and then I'll come back with a hammer and a chisel, and I'll just chisel the head off, because I'm not unscrewing all those heads. They're flatheads, and I think flatheads should be completely outlawed. They suck. Alright, so to get this wood out, I take my circular saw and I set it to be a depth able to plunge down deep into the wood, but not enough to hit that back skin. And then I just make some cross cuts. And I take my hammer and chisel, and I start whacking that wood out. This is a pain. This is probably one of the more tedious parts. So the process of taking this transom off the old wood is it's not fun. It's not rocket science, but it's just scraping the heck out of the wood. Whatever technique you can figure out, just be careful of not messing up this outer skin. Just the reason. Some guys like to cut the whole skin out. I'm going to keep as much as I can. That's just less fairing to do. I only have to worry about this edge right here. So what I plan on doing is going with 3/4 inch Kusa board, which is a composite fiberglass board. It's lighter than plywood, does not absorb water, very strong, and it won't rot, won't hold mildew. I want to do this once and know that it'll never have to get done again. So I'll take 3/4 inch Kusa, but double up, so it'll be 1.5 inches, and I'll show you the rig that I'm going to be doing as far as the way to get this pressed in really nice and tight. Other than that, I'm just going to keep sweating and pounding away at this transom to get the rest of it. This has probably taken me probably 3 hours to get to this point. Probably have another maybe an hour, 2 hours just to get the rest of that out. It's not a fun job. I'm sure there are better, easier ways to do this. And I have a couple ideas I'm going to do. I'm going to go get my chipping hammer, see if that picks that board up a little easier. I'm not sure. It's kind of a mixture between speed and want to make sure I'm not messing this up. I don't want to screw up this back skin. So, that's it for now. I will keep recording, keep showing you what the progress is. Alright, so got the wood out of the transom and going to grind off the remaining bits of wood on the transom inner skin. I really don't like fiberglass dust, and I'm trying to keep that down to a minimum, so I just keep researching what's out there that will just help with that collection. So I didn't know that they carried this, which is a shroud, a vacuum shroud for an angle grinder. So hooks up to a vacuum source, and it's awesome. I'm grinding here, and hardly any dust is coming out of this thing. So I really like this. It's not the best, I would imagine, for getting into cracks and crevices, but it works really good. I'm going to show you. It's So I am very happy today. I think I'm done grinding. I've been grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, getting this transom ready. It is maddening. I hate grinding. Mostly because it's so hot out, and I'm just kind of a wimp when it comes to getting fiberglass on me. But I've gotten a pretty good system. Just covering myself up really well. Long sleeve shirt, the gloves, pants, shirt tucked in, respirator, eye goggles. Also got a tip recently to take the talcum powder and rub my arms and my neck. Rubbed it all over. Talcum powder supposedly gets into your pores and then prevents the fiberglass from getting in there. I was grinding for probably about 2 or 3 hours, about 2 hours today, and I feel great. Don't have any issue. So So this is what I am looking at. So there's a lot of getting down to the bare glass. There's still a little bit in here. You can see some of the mat. Let's try to get all that out of there because I wanted my tabbing to bond to the real strong part. There's some interesting things here. There's rivets. If you can see that. There's another one. There's another one. I'm gonna pop those out. There's a bunch of them over here. There's a rivet. There's one. There's one. There's one. I don't know what these rivets were for, but I do know that they will pop out here. So I'm gonna drill those out and fill it in. It's not a big deal. It's just interesting. There's some holes here that have been filled in before. I'm gonna pop those out and fill them in with epoxy. You can see how they came out on the other end. As far as it looks like they used marine text, which is good stuff, but not for a hole that big. I'll scoop this out, fill this in with epoxy. So just grinding, getting everything smooth. You can see my here's a couple of my oops. When I was cutting these stringers out, I was using cutoff wheel and I went right through the hole. Here, a little bit there, and a little bit here. So I'm gonna, oh crap, I'm gonna have to do some more grinding. I need to get this out of the way. I might take care of that later because I plan on taking this all out. So that'll be done later. But I did scoop this out. I'm gonna put some glass in here before I tab it. There's also interesting is there's some holes here. I don't know why there's all these holes right here on the bottom right here. I don't know if this was someone at some point put a bilge pump in there. It doesn't make sense to me that much, but I'm gonna drill those out to make sure that I got fresh epoxy in there. So speaking of holes, this transom is filled with them. There's some with marine text. I mean, I guess over the years there's been a lot of different things mounted on this transom, and they did some decent jobs filling some of these in. But while I'm at it, right here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 holes right there. Looks like there's been a lot of transducers mounted to this thing. Down here you can see all the holes from those. Up here. So I got a lot of holes to fill, but for the most part I got all this nice clean bare glass to tab into. There's gonna be probably, I think, maybe 4 layers for the first one, and then after that transom, and then more tabbing. So this is it's gonna be pretty stout back here. Also, what I did is I feather edged this right here. I need to grind this out. This is kind of wavy because I'm closing in the transom. So from here down is going to be new material, and the glass needs to blend in right here. So I faded that as far as I tapered that nice and sharp. So hopefully this is what this is it. This is hopefully what I'm done with the grinding. My luck, there probably will be a little bit more. I'm sure there'll be something that I missed. Yeah, so I want to get this right. I want to get super solid, so I don't want to just half-ass it. Just because I hate grinding doesn't mean I won't push myself to get it done. Some other interesting areas. There's some there's some big holes in here. Down here, look at this. Look at that hole. Not sure what's up with that. Anyways, I got to clean the back of this up. This is what I did all my grinding with. My Drill Master Harbor Freight Special. This is actually a polisher and grinder. It's cheap, it's a beast. I don't know how long it'll last, but it's been doing me pretty good so far. So that's it. That's what I got to work with. Nice clean slate. All right, see you later.